Cold War Simplified. The Cold War was a time when two big countries, the United States and the Soviet Union, didn't get along. They had different ideas about how their countries should be run. They both wanted to be the most powerful. The Cold War lasted for a long time, and it caused a lot of problems in the world. The reasons for the Cold War were because these countries were very different, and they didn't trust each other. They also built a lot of powerful weapons, like nuclear bombs, which made things scarier. Some important events during the Cold War were when the United States helped other countries that were in danger of becoming communist. They also had a big fight over Berlin, a city in Germany, and there was a time when they almost went to war over missiles in Cuba, which is an island near the United States. The Cold War changed the world in many ways. It divided the world into two groups, and there were a lot of fights and wars in other countries because of it. Both countries also tried to be the best in space. Finally, the Cold War ended when the Soviet Union broke apart, and the United States became the most powerful country. But even though it's over, some of the problems from the Cold War still affect the world today. So, the Cold War was a time when two big countries didn't get along, and it caused a lot of problems. It ended with one country becoming the most powerful, but the effects are still felt today. Alright, little buddy. The Cold War was a time when two big countries, the United States and the Soviet Union, didn't get along very well. They had different ideas about how a country should be run, and what kind of government it should have. The Cold War started after World War II, and it lasted for a long time, until the early 1990s. The United States believed in a system called capitalism, where people could own businesses and make money freely. On the other hand, the Soviet Union believed in a system called communism, where the government controlled everything. Because of their differences, they were always afraid the other side might become too powerful. They even developed very powerful weapons, like nuclear bombs, which made everyone scared of a big war with lots of destruction. During the Cold War, many important events happened. The United States helped countries that were in danger of becoming communist, and they also helped Europe recover from the war with something called the Marshall Plan. There was also a big crisis when the Soviet Union put missiles in Cuba, which was a country close to the United States. The world became divided into two sides, like two big teams, with their own allies. There were many conflicts in different countries, where these two sides fought indirectly, like in Korea and Vietnam. But eventually, the Soviet Union fell apart, and the Cold War ended. This was a significant change in the world, and it made the United States the most powerful country. Even after the Cold War was over, some countries still don't trust each other completely, and there are still some problems because of what happened during that time. The Cold War also led to many good things, like a race to explore space, and it pushed countries to work together to reduce the number of dangerous weapons. So, the Cold War was a big, complicated time in history, when two powerful countries didn't get along. But it also brought some positive changes, and taught us important lessons about peace and cooperation.